Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I want to tell you about a bit of a problem with Winnebago Class A diesel motorhomes. However, I don't think it's just Winnebago. I'm not sure, but I suspect that this is a typical thing you will see industry-wide. You'll probably see the same problem with many other brands of motorhomes. And the problem is with the front cap. This whole front cap you see here is glued on. Believe it or not, it's glued on to metal brackets, and there's a lot of them. And starting with this hood. This hood, you see that bracket that's holding the hood up? There is a mounting bracket behind this letter and a mounting bracket behind this letter that is just simply glued on. And this is the locking mechanism here, locking mechanism here. Right here is the brace that holds up the bar, that holds it up. It's glued on. And also, like I said, the whole front cap is glued on. And like I said, there is a bracket there, a bracket there. There's also a bracket right here and a bracket right there and there, where you see those bolts. And the problem is these brackets fall off. I certainly hope the brackets that hold the entire front cap wouldn't fall off, but this bracket here that holds the rod on, that's the one most likely to fall off. And mine has just simply fallen off twice in the first 9 months of owning this motorhome. And also that bracket there, that is the locking mechanism, it has recently fallen off. And fortunately, they fell off when I was parked. If they had fallen off while I was driving down the highway, then I would have lost them and I would have had to buy new brackets. And also, when a piece of metal, and this is a heavy piece of metal, all of these pieces are heavy pieces of metal. If they fall off while you're driving 60 miles an hour on the freeway, they're going to go underneath, possibly do some damage underneath, and possibly hit the car behind you, and may even hit the windshield of the car behind you. That's dangerous and expensive. So, and I know a lot of people have complained about these brackets falling off. It certainly is not just me. So, and most people just simply glue them back on. Well, I decided to go a step further. And I took my coach to my RV repair shop and I told them I want these brackets bolted on. So this locking mechanism, you can see they put 2 bolts there and 2 bolts there, and then they bolted down here the bracket that holds on the arm that keeps the lid open, and then there and there they bolted on brackets that are holding the front cap on. The ones up here were behind the letters, but I think I'm pretty safe because with those bolts on down there, it's not going to come off. And the hood, I'm not too worried about, because even though the bolts there and there that are holding the hood on, they're at risk. As long as these are on and they're bolted down, I think I'm pretty safe. This is not going to fall off accidentally. And I think the reason why Winnebago has all these parts just simply glued on I suspect it's just because it doesn't look pretty having these bolts sticking out front. I can't imagine any other reason why they wouldn't do it other than just for good looks. Well, to me, safety is more important than good looks. And liability. If something falls off and hits the car behind me, they're going to be mad at me. So I would much rather do the precautionary measure of bolting these things on and having a few bolt heads showing than worrying about not only liability damage, but losing them and having to have them glued back on. I don't want to go through that 2 or 3 or 4 times. So I think I have solved this problem for good. So if you have a coach like this, look and see how those brackets are being held on in the front. And especially if you've had one falling off, you really got to think about what you want to do to prevent that from happening again. So I hope this has helped you. Good day, folks.